There's the visitor center, and then I guess that's a putt-putt golf course over there. They've got cabins or cottages all around. So I think that a lot of folks come here in the fall. I guess whenever the trees are changing color. It's a pretty large park. I think it's 242 acres or something like that. And I think they have something like 35 cottages. They're in different areas of the park. They have 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, something like that. I think they run like, probably like a hotel, 125 on up. Their tent sites are a little bit expensive for no electric, like $30, but not terrible, I suppose, because you get showers and bathrooms, hot showers and bathrooms that you don't have to pay for. Up in New Hampshire, I stayed at some places where you had to use quarter showers and you didn't want to run out of time with soap on you, because otherwise it was kind of miserable. So my campsite is probably, well, they're at the end of the road, way up there, plus some distance. I'll see how far I can walk. They have a lot of like ADA accessible stuff. Here's more. There's cottages up in there. You got a playground over there for kiddos. Whenever I came here yesterday, I was so frustrated. And I didn't listen to where the lady told me to go. She was working here today. She remembered me. So I walked. There's a bridge over there all the way back up on the side of that hill. And I had a map, but the map wasn't the best in the world. So I turned around and finally sat down and looked at the map long enough and figured out that it just said campgrounds. And that was further up this way. So it takes, you don't realize it'd just be a hop, a skip, and a jump in a car. But it's a little ways on foot. There's guys grilling over there. They've got a RV section over to the left of probably 100 spots. They actually don't have all that many. Well, I guess they have enough tent pads. They just have a few hike-ins, maybe 13 or so that I'm at. Anyways, pretty little place. It'd be fun just come here for a week or two, hang out. But their food at the visitor center, it's just about as expensive as that store I went to yesterday. Actually, the peanut butter was $1 cheaper. I bought them out of that. And I'll probably use up the rest of my fuel. Maybe not. Get to the outfitter tomorrow. They had propane tanks, and I thought that I sent mine propane adapter home, propane stove. Turns out I did not, so probably for the best. So if I need to cook something, I'll go ahead and bust that out. It's starting to sprinkle now. Hopefully I can get my tarp set up and then work underneath that. I think I'm gonna make some blocks and whatnot underneath my hammock where I can set my bag on that. I mean, it's just pretty. Other than that, we'll see how the rest of today and tomorrow pans out. To the point that I'm looking at Ubers because I really am worried about walking the road. They're like 20-something bucks and unreliable. Well, like I said, I came out here and anticipated getting hosed in some ways, and it only took a week. So I'll figure it out. Then we'll be back on the trail by Monday morning, probably. Oh, here's the other deal. There's some creeks running through here. Just randomly. People looked at me like I was crazy when I was getting water out of one of them yesterday. I was thirsty. Then I came across these RV spots and they had water to them, so I just used one to fill up my bottle the rest of the way. So I'll check in later. I got my hammock set back up right before right when the rain was starting, and I put it on porch mode so I have some extra area there. I didn't set it up where I was going to because I knew this one worked. I might be able to string my clothesline through here and attach it to the tree over there and have it run underneath this right here. Or maybe to that hanging pole. One or the other. I made me some tea because I've been going through my little packets. I did go to the store in the visitor center, and like everything, it's god-awful expensive, but they got me another jar of peanut butter. Something about that just gives me security because that's like a day's worth of calories. If you need it, might be a little bit heavy, but that and a thing of Pop-Tarts, which was like $4. But if I think about how much I would budget for food anyways, it'd be like $5 a day or something. I was really trying. If I can go to the store, I can get it for about $2 or $3 a day. So not inordinately expensive. I get this side down so people can't see me too well from if there's anybody that goes to that campsite over there. Whoop. So not just crazy expensive. I thought I might have said this earlier. I thought I sent home one of my stoves, and I didn't. They had propane canisters in there, and I struggle with trusting that things will be where they need to be when they need to be there. So if I get to the outfitter on Monday and they don't have it, then I'm going to kick myself for not getting it here. But they should. I mean, they have to have the isobutane canisters. Really, I probably should switch over to the propane one because that isobutane kicks off too big of a flame. I need more of a jet boil. I think it heats up the center of the pot a lot faster and uses less fuel to do that with than if you have a broad flame, like a big burner. And that's the one I have. I didn't know that until I got out here and I started looking at it, and you learn things. We just had that one given to us and it was in our camping stuff, so I brought it along. But that's why I brought two, just in case I figured out that one or the other was better. Problem being that the propane canisters are heavier, and I'm not really sure of how to dispose of those. I'm not really sure how to dispose of the isobutane one properly either. So I think after Neil's Gap, I have to make it another 30 miles. At my current rate, that's 7 days. with or without kidnapping. So we'll see how that pans out over the course of the next week. Probably have enough food to get me 5 days if I stretched it. I wish they had more stuff here, but like a can of ravioli I think was $4 here or something. This is regular. I'm not doing that, even though I like raviolis. I didn't even look at their tuna fish and stuff because I'm not gonna. I like Miracle Whip with mine, and then the condiments were, of course, like $4 or $5 a piece, and I'll stick to what I got. Thought about door dashing out here. I've never door dashed ever, but it doesn't seem like there's enough stuff that's close enough, or I don't know how to do that, and then I don't know if they can get past the front gate, and I don't want to walk all the way up to the front entrance to pick my stuff up. So I think I'll just trust Neil's Gap for that. I got to see my kiddo perform. My wife sent me some videos from her cello concert today. Stinks missing out on those things because I really do like them, but nowadays with technology, at least you can watch it, right? So that was fun, and I got some of my videos uploaded, and tomorrow I'll probably do much of the same, and maybe go in there and buy them out of Pop-Tarts again. They have extra Pop-Tarts, and just munch on those for the day. When I was walking up to the visitor center, an old man who looked very similar to the one that I took a ride from yesterday, he said, "Are you going to Woody Gap or Neil's Gap?" And I thought, well, there's somebody that knows which gaps there are. And I said, "I'm going to Neil's Gap." He said, "Well, do you need a ride?" I thought, well, crap, if I wasn't just walking up here and spent $60 to camp for 2 days, that would have been nice. And so I might should have just trusted the universe to provide. Then again, if I was going today, I would have left a lot earlier than whenever I saw him out on his walk. But he lives over in such as well. Maybe he's kin to that other guy. Who knows? But all that said, I think if I rest up and feel good, I'm hoping that it's not going to take me all that long to get up to Neil's Gap. 3 miles. I still haven't looked on Google Maps to see what the walk is like along that road, because the reception here is spotty, and then I don't want to just go hang around the bathrooms where they have like a Wi-Fi repeater. They actually have it for the RV sites, but there's not a good place to just kind of sit and not look out of place or like you're creeping. So I got other stuff to do today, but I have all day tomorrow. So again, one of the issues is like, what do you do when you're sitting around? And I'm trying to make myself somewhat productive, at least planning some or looking up options and trying to see where I'm going to go from here. Try to conserve some of my Nor packets and my meat, so I don't have to spend too much at Neil's Gap. And then later on, I think Fontana might have some options there, or if not, I'll probably be closer to another town that I can hop into. I think I'm gonna have to get over this idea of not taking shuttles into towns, because I'm really gonna have to resupply at some point in time in Georgia and North Carolina and Tennessee. If I make it that far, who knows? Maybe my back gives out. Maybe I get eaten by a bear. Maybe I get bitten by a rattlesnake. Maybe I get kidnapped by an old man and he drops me off in the middle of nowhere and I die of starvation or dehydration. There's so many things that could happen. I think I'll be all right. But there's been this crow or raven that keeps flying around. I think he's trying to scope me out. And And last night there was some weird, I think it was barred owls. The hoo 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 hoo. And you could hear them chiming at each other from across the park. And then they got closer, and then they started making some really weird, different noises when they found each other. You know, birds only want two things. That's either to fight or to make babies. It was awkward. Anyways, it roused me out of my sleep just enough for me to listen to it and think, that was odd. And then I went right back to sleep. I really have not had trouble sleeping out here at all. That's been one of the benefits of this hammock. It's just comfy and you're warm, and I've got Benadryl, just knocked straight out. And I thought I'd be a little bit more paranoid even whenever I was sleeping by myself, but nope. It's just peaceful. I really do enjoy it. So I'll putt around here a little bit more. I'm trying to plan on where to go and look at the trail map and see how far I've got to go each day and how hard it'll be. Try to estimate that. Again, I'm not going to estimate any day over probably 5 miles, because I know myself and all I have to go off of is what I've done so far. And that's probably with a camp day in between. So I hope I'll make better progress than I have been. My pack is lighter. It's still heavy, but it's lighter. So we'll see how all that pans out. But the other thing is, even though I have a cell phone, I don't have a pen and paper, and it's hard for me to go back and forth, because even though I used to have such like skill with technology, I'm an absolute idiot now, and I'm having to lift my glasses up and squint at the screen. So planning has been a little bit harder. I guess I could use charcoal and this wood to draw on. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes a mess. Anyways, that's where I'm at.